Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll explain the important questions along with the answers from Module 2, which is there in Programming in C, which is from VTU first semester. I'm uploading this video because I have got many comments to explain important questions along with the answers from Module 2. And even though I'm not feeling well, I'm uploading this video. Just ignore my voice. Let us start here. These are all the important questions from Module 2 in Programming in C. I have prepared the questions in such a way that it covers the entire syllabus of Module 2. And before starting, if you're new to my channel, then subscribe to it for more videos like this. That will be a motivation for me to create even more videos which will be helpful to you. Let us start into the video. The first question is explain console input and output in C. Describe the character input and output functions with examples. Here, you have to explain console input and output. And you have to describe the character input and output functions with example as well. Here, console input means taking data from the user through the keyboard. Console input. It will take the input from the user through keyboard. User will enter the input through the keyboard. Clear? This is console input. Console output means display the data to the user on screen. Whatever the data they have entered, based on that, the console output will display that data to the user on screen. Clear? C provides standard input and output functions using the console for iteration between user and the program by entering the input and displaying the output. Clear? This is all about the console input and output. Character input functions. We have getChar, getCh, getChe. These are all the character input functions. These functions are used to read the single character from the keyboard. These functions will read the single character from the keyboard. Let us understand what is getChar. Here, it reads one character from standard input. Whatever the input they have given, it will read only the single character from that input. It waits for the user to press a key or enter, which means user has to press any key and enter. It will wait. It will take only one character. It will read only one character. That's why user has to press only one key and they have to enter. For example, if user enters A and getChar reads A, clear? It will read only one character from standard input. getCh. It reads a single character without displaying it on the screen. It will not display anything on the screen, but it will read only one single character. It does not wait for enter. After pressing a single character, no, it will not wait for enter key. Clear? This is getCh. It is mostly used for password-like input. After entering, immediately it will go to pop-up window. Clear? getChe. It reads a single character and display it on the screen. It will read and display it on the screen. It doesn't wait for enter key. Even getChe is also, it doesn't wait for enter key. This is all about character input function, and here character output function. These functions are used to display a single character on the screen. Let us see. We have putChar and putCh. PutChar means it prints only one single character to the console. For example, putChar A, which means it will display A on the screen. Clear? putCh. It prints single character to the screen. Use it with getCh and getChe functions. Clear? This is all about the character input and output functions. Here console input or output helps to user interactions. User can enter the data through keyboard and the output will display the data on the screen. Clear? This is how the interaction will happen. Character input output functions deal with single character. You can observe one common thing, that is it will read only the single character and display only the single character. These two will deal with the single characters. They are simple, fast and commonly used in basic C programs. These are all the console input output and character input output functions are very simple, fast and commonly used in C basic programs. Clear? Let's move to the second question. Explain reading and writing strings in C. Describe string input and output functions. String in C is a collection of characters ending with null character, which ends with null character. Reading a string means taking a group of characters as input. Writing a string means displaying the string on the screen. Here string is nothing but it is a collection of characters. String is nothing but the collection of characters and it ends with the null character. Clear? It ends with null character. Reading string means taking group of characters as input. This is reading. Writing a string means it displays the string on the screen. Writing, it displays on the screen. Clear? String input functions. We have scanf, getters and fgets. In string output functions, we have printf and putf. Let us understand in detail. Scanf, this is a string input function. You can observe scanf, printf, putf, getters in your programs, right? In your C programs. Let us understand in detail what is meant by scanf. It is used to read a string using format specifier. You can observe %s, %d, right? %f as well. This is a format specifier. I'll explain in detail in later videos. It is used to read the string. Scanf is used to read the using format specifiers. Based on the data type, we can take %s, %f, %d. Clear? It reads the input until a space or tab or new line is found. It will read the input until and unless it will find a space, tab or new line. Clear? It is suitable for single word string. If the string is single word, then it is well suited. Gets. It is used to read an entire line including spaces. Whenever the spaces will come, it will stop. But gets means it will read continuously, including spaces. And whenever user press the enter key, input ends there. After pressing enter key, input ends there. And it is not safe because it doesn't check memory size. It doesn't check the size of the input buffer, which leads to the buffer overflow. And it reads the input from the user until a new line is found, allowing more data than allocated to be written, and which causes the crashes or security vulnerabilities. That's why it is not safe. The next one is fgets. It is used to read a line of a text safely. It can read safely, it is safe. It reads a limited number of characters including spaces. It will include the spaces, including spaces only it will read, and it will read only the limited number of characters. Clear? Recommended for safe string input, but there is a limit for that. Clear? String stores the multiple characters because string is a collection of characters. Different functions are used based on the need and safety. Here you can use scanf, gets and fgets based on your need. Fgets and puts are commonly preferred for safe string handling. Clear? Let us see string output functions. Printf and puts. Printf is used to display a string using %s format specifier that I have told you. %s, %d, all are the format specifiers. It is used to display the string using format specifier. And for example, printf, inside that you can see a format specifier based on the data type. If it is string, it will take %s. If it is int, it will take %d. If it is float, it will take %f. Clear? And name of that. This is what the printf do. It will display the string using format specifier. Puts. It is used to display a string on the screen. It is also output function means usually it will display on the screen, right? It is also for same purpose. Automatically moves to the cursor to the next line after printing. After printing, automatically it moves the cursor. This is puts. This is all about reading and writing strings in C, along with the input and output functions. And the next question is explain formatted console input and output. Describe the printf and scanf with syntax and example. Formatted input and output both will allow the data to be read in input functions and display in the output functions in a specific format. Format specifiers I have told, right? Those are used to define the type of the data such as integer, float or character. I have told, right? If it is integer, it will take the format specifier that is %d. If it is float, it will take %f, and for character it will %c. Clear? This make input and output more readable and meaningful. These format input output functions makes the input and output more readable and meaningful by using format specifiers and printf functions. Here it is used to display the format output on the screen. I have explained, right? Printf function, it is used to display on the screen by using format specifiers, %s, %c, %d and all. Clear? For example, printf format string. What is the format of the string and variable list? We have to write it here. For better understand, let us see an example. Printf, same as it is printf. Here format string is, I have taken the variable age. Age is equal to, age means it will be a number, that is 18, 22, 25, anything. That is a number, which means integer data type. That's why I have used %d. Clear? Age is a number, that's why I am using %d here. And variables list, I am using age as a variable. If I have taken something like marks, a student name, for that I have to use %c, % anything. Clear? I have to write the variable list as well, student name and %. I have to update that. Common format specifiers are, as I told you, for integer I have %d, for float I have %f, for character I have %c, and for string %s. Clear? Whatever the format specifiers you have to use based on the given data type. This you have to know. Scanf function. It is used to read the formatted input from the keyboard. I have already explained. Scanf means it will read the input from the keyboard and it assigns the entered values to variables using format specifiers, which means whatever the values I have entered, it will assign to the variables based on the format specifier. You can see this example. Whatever the value I have taken, age is equal to 18, based on the format, using format specifier, it will assign that value to the variable. If you are not understood, just listen once again. Whatever the value I will enter to the age, whatever 18 or 22, anything, based on that value, it will use the format specifier. If it is integer, it will take %d and so on. Based on that value, it will use the format specifier and assign that value to the variable. Clear? I think you are clear with it now. Address operator, that is ampersand, is used to show the input values. Let us see the syntax. Example, scanf format string. I will use a format string and ampersand variable list. For example, scanf format string is %d because I have taken age. I have to represent ampersand and variable list is age. Clear with this? And the next question is, what are statements in C? Explain the classification of statements. Statement is an instruction given to the computer to perform a specific task, which means it is an instructions given to the computer to perform a specific task. Based on the instructions, the computer will perform the task. That is a statement. Each statement in C usually ends with a semicolon, which is most important. Each statement in C usually ends with semicolon. You have to remember this. Statements control the flow of execution of C program. Here, statements means it will control the flow of the execution, where you have to execute. It will control the flow of execution statements. Clear? Let us see the what are all the statements present in the C program. Expression statement, which means these statements perform operations like calculations or assignment. These are all the expression statements. Operation in any kind of operations, addition, deletion, anything that can be done under expression statement or assignments as well. Examples including arithmetic operations and assignments. These are all expression statements. And second one is selection statement. These statements are used to make the decisions based on the condition. For example, we have if, else if, and if else ladder. These are all the three selection statements present in C, and I have explained in a detailed video about selection statements. And they choose one block of code from multiple options. There will be multiple options. It will choose only one block of code to execute based on the conditions. Clear? And next one is iteration statement. These statements are used to repeat a block of code multiple times. For example, if I want to print from numbers from 1 to 5, or I want to print the number multiple of 5, anything, I want to repeat a set of statements, then in that case I will use iteration statements. For example, I have for loop, while loop, and do while loop. This one also I have explained in detail. They are also called as looping statements. Iteration statements are also called as looping statements. Why? Because it will loop continuously again and again. If the condition is true, it will loop continuously. Based on the condition only, it will loop. If it is true, it will come back and execute again and again, unless and until the condition becomes false. Clear? Jump statements. These statements are used to change the normal flow of execution, which means it will jump from one statement to another statement. They transfer control from one part of the program to another. It will completely transfer the control of that program from one part of that program to another part. Clear? That is why it is jump statement. And block statement. A block statement is a group of statements enclosed with a curly braces. This is a block statement. They are treated as a single unit. Clear? This is a block statement. The statements form a backbone of the C program, and they can control decision making by selection statements, and looping by iteration statements, and flow of the execution by jump statements. And proper use of statements makes programs clear and structured. We have to use these statements properly wherever we need it. Clear? Let us move to the next question. Explain selection statements in C. Describe if else, and else if ladder with examples. I have already told you that I have explained this answer in detail with clear and simple explanations. Go and check out that video. And seventh question also, explain iteration statements in C. Describe while, do while, and for loop with examples. This one also I have explained in full video, because this will take a lot of time. That's why I have done a separate video for these two. Go and check out those after completing this video. Clear? Let us move to the sixth question. That is, explain the switch statement in C. Write the syntax, working, and examples. Here, switch statement is a selection control statement. Why? Because it is used to execute one block of code from multiple options. Even though it has a multiple options, it will choose only one block of code to execute. The choice is made based on the value of the expression. Based on the expression, it will choose which block to execute. Clear? Let us see the syntax. Switch expression. I have told that based on the expression only, it will choose which block of the code should be executed. Here, case constant 1, the statement and break. Case constant 2, statements and break. Here we have case constant 1. If it is true, then it will execute the statements present in the this statement. If not, it will break immediately and go to case constant 2. If it is true, then it will execute the statements present here. Or else it will also break. It will execute the default statements. Clear with this? Based on the expression, it will choose which block of the code should be executed. Let us see the working of switch statement. First, the expression inside switch is evaluated. It will evaluate this expression first, and the value of the expression is compared with each case constant. The expression will be compared with each case constant. And when a matching case is found, the corresponding statements are executed. Whenever the case constants will match with the expression, then the corresponding statements are executed. Clear? And the break statement stops the execution and exits the switch block. Clear with this? And if no case is matched, then default block is executed. If the two cases don't match with the expression, then the default statements will be executed. If break is not used, if I don't use a break, the control flows to the next case. immediately it will flow through the next case. For example, I have taken 2. If my choice is 2, then case 1 I'll take print 1. No, it is not the expression. In the expression it is not 1. That's why I'll go to case 2. Print 2. Immediately it will print 2. Clear? Here switch is used for multiple choices and case labels must be constant values. Here these cases must be constant values. And break prevents the fall through. I have told that. And default handles the unmatched cases. If I found unmatched cases, it will execute the default statements. Clear? This is all about the switch statement in C. I have one more simple question, that is compare while loop and do while loop with examples. Here, while loop is a condition is checked before executing the loop body. It will check the condition, whatever the condition, before executing the loop body. It will not enter the loop body first. It will check the condition. After that only it will execute, it will enter the loop body. Here, do while loop, condition is checked after executing the loop body, which means condition is just below the loop body. Clear? If you see the full video about loops, while loop and do while loop, which I have already explained, then you will get clarity about while loop and do while loop. It executes 0 times if the condition is false initially. It will check the condition before, right? That's why if the condition is false, it will execute 0 times. Clear? If the condition is false, it will not execute anything. Clear? Here, even if the condition is false, it will execute at least once. Because the condition is checked after executing the loop body, right? It will check the condition later. That's why it will execute at least once. Here, entry control loop. The loop structure is entry control. Here, exit control, because condition is checked before. That's why it is entry control. It is exit control. Here, it is used when the loop should run only if the condition is true. Only if the condition is true, it has to execute. In that case, I have to use while loop, because it will check the condition. If it is true, it will execute, or else it will not. That's why we use while loop. Use when loop must be run at least once. If the condition is false also, we have to run this. Then in that case, we have to use do while loop. Check condition, then it will check the condition initially, then it will execute the loop body. This is a syntax flow, and it will execute that loop body. After that, it will check the condition. That's why it will execute at least once, even if the condition is false. Clear? Printing numbers only if the condition is valid. For example, based on the condition only it will print, right? If the condition is valid, then only it will print the numbers. For example, if I is equal to 6 and condition is I less than or equal to 5, loop will not execute, because I is 6, which is not less than or equal to 5. In this case, it will not execute. If I is equal to 1 and the condition is I is less than or equal to 5, then the loop will execute. Clear? In do while loop, it will execute at least once, right? For example, if I is equal to 6 I have taken and the condition is I is less than or equal to 5, the loop will execute at least once, even if the condition fails, and stop it. While loop is condition first. In while loop, it will check the condition first, and in do while loop, it execute first. Then it will check the condition. That's why it will execute at least once. Clear with this? Let's move to the next question. Explain jump statements in C. Describe, break, continue, and go to with example. I have already told you about jump statements. Those are used to transfer the control from one part of the program to another part of the program. They can change the normal sequence of the execution. And they are mainly used inside the loops and switch statements as well. Inside the loop and switch. I have used break statement, right? Likewise, I can use the continue and go to statements as well inside loops and switch statements. Let us see. First one is break statement. The break statement is used to immediately terminate a loop or switch statement. I have used it here, right? Break. If I want to come out of that loop, come out of that block, I will use the break statement, which I have told you. The break statement is used to immediately terminate a loop or switch. And after that, the control moves to the statement following the loop or switch. Clear with the break statement? For example, if break is used inside a loop when I becomes 5, after the condition becomes false, then the loop stops completely. It will break that and move to the next statement. Continue statement. Here the continue statement skips the remaining statements of the current iteration, which means it will just skip the current iteration remaining statement, and the control moves to the next iteration of the loop. Clear? It will just skip the current iteration statements and it will move to the next iteration of the loop. This is continue statement. For example, if continue is used when I is 3, then the statement after continue are skipped for I is equal to 3, which means it will skip only the current iteration and move to the next iteration. The next one is go to statement. The go to statement transfers control to a labeled statement in the program, which means the program execution jump to a specific or named location. Clear? And it is generally avoided because it makes programs difficult to understand. Using goto often leads to spaghetti code and making the program logic hard to follow and maintain. For example, if goto is used to jump to a label name start, execution continues from start. This will tell that the immediate transfer of control to the point marked by the label. Clear? Break, exit the loop or switch. Continue will skip the current iteration and go to jumps to labeled statement. This is all about this question. And the next one is explain expression statement and block statement in C with examples. An expression statement, which means it performs a computation or operation that is arithmetic, assignment or function call. I have already told you that each statement, here expression statement is also ends with a semicolon. For example, assigning a value to the variable, that is a is equal to 1, a is equal to 10, anything. Assigning a value 10 to the variable a. Clear? And adding two numbers and storing the result. For example, I have taken a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3. I'll take one more variable, that is c is equal to a plus b. Result will be stored in variable c. Adding two numbers and storing the result. Calling a function. These are all the examples of expression statement. And one more is block statement in C. A block statement is a group of statements enclosed within curly braces. I have already told you this. And all statements inside a block are executed together. All the statements inside the curly braces inside this block are executed together. And a block is treated as a single statement. The complete block is treated as single statement only in the case of block statement. For example, statements inside if, else and loops and function form a block. For example, you can see if block, else, loop. In the loops also you can see the blocks. The complete block will execute at the same time and treated as a single statement. Multiple statements executed when a condition is true. When the condition is true, multiple statement will be executed. If the condition is true, then only it will loop again and again. Clear? Expression statements perform the actions. Clear? And block statement group the multiple statements together inside a curly braces and treated it as a single statement. And blocks helps in organizing code clearly. For example, you can take if, else, if, and loops as well. Clear? This is all about the expression statement and block statements in C. And the next question is explain true and false condition in C. How are logical expressions evaluated? Here, true and false. Any non-zero value is considered as true, which means 1. 1 means that is true. Any non-zero value is considered as true and 0 is considered as false. Clear? Any non-zero, which means 1 is considered as true and 0 is considered as false. Conditions are used in decision making and looping statements. We use the conditions in decision making. You can see in selection statements if, else, if, and if, else, ladder. You can see the conditions. And in looping statements also we use the conditions. Let us see how exactly these true and false can be used. In relational operators compare two values. For example, 10, 20, I have two values. I can compare these two values. That is relational operator. Relational, for example, including greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to. We use greater than, less than, equal and not equal to. These are all the relational operators we use. They return either true or false. For example, if I take 10 is less than 20. In this case, I will get true as a result. Clear? If I use 10 is greater than 20, I'll get false. Based on the condition, I'll get true or false as a written. And in logical operators are used to combine the conditions. For example, and returns true if all the conditions are true. If all the conditions are true, then and returns true. Or returns true if at least one condition is true. If I get only one condition true, then or returns true. Not reverses the condition result, which means A is not equal to B. 3 is not equal to 10, like that. It will reverse the condition result. Evaluation of logical expression. They are asked how are logical expressions evaluated? Logical expressions are evaluated from left to right. If I take a logical expression, it will evaluate from left to right. Left to right. Clear? Then operator precedence is followed during evaluation. You know about this operator precedence, right? There is first priorities for multiplication and brackets. You know that, right? And short circuit evaluation is used. That is and or are used. Let's see the examples. If 5 is greater than 3, the condition is true because this is true. 5 is really greater than 3. That's why the condition is true. If 0, the condition is false. 0 means it is false. If A is greater than 0 and B is greater than 0, both must be true. Then only and will return true. Clear? True means non-zero values. I have told that 1. Non-zero values are true. False means 0. If it is false, if it is 0, then it is false. Logical expressions control the program flow as well. This is all about the true and false conditions in C and how the logical expressions are evaluated. And the last question is write short notes on common input to output format specifiers and escape sequences used in C. I have already told you about format specifiers. We use %d if the data type is integer and %f it is used for floating point values. %c is for single characters and %s for strings. %lf use it for double values. %u is used for unsigned integers. Most of the common format specifiers are %d, f, c and s. Clear? Here Format specifiers are used in printf and scanf to define the type of the data. We use these common format specifiers to define the data type. Clear? To define the data type, we use common format specifiers and data being read or displayed. They tell the compiler how to interpret the data. Clear about this? Escape sequence in C. Escape sequences are special characters used inside the output statements, and they begin with the backslash. For example, you can see here slash n, which is used to move the cursor to the new line. N means new line. Slash t, it gives the horizontal tab space when you press this, and slash b, backspace. Slash r, it moves the cursor to beginning of the line. Slash double quotation, it prints the double quote. Clear? These are all the common escape sequences, and they control the cursor movements or formatting of output. And format specifiers control the data type, display and input. These and escape sequences improve the output formatting. Both are widely used in formatted console input and output. Here completes the module 2 in programming in C. You can easily access this PDF link by clicking below that I have provided, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you found this even 1% helpful, then like this video, share this with your friends and comment below if it is helpful, and comment your next exam. That will be my next upload. And thank you very much for watching. If you want module 3 important questions solved video, comment below, and finally your like, share, subscribe and comment will motivate me to create even more videos which will helpful to you. Thank you very much. See you in the module 3 video.